Hello and welcome to Newport Ford in Newport. I'm Lee Batchelor and you join us at an exciting time as we bring you an introductory look to Ford's first ever fully electric commercial vehicle, the all-new E-Transit.
Transit is the best-selling cargo van in the world and has been the mainstay of millions of commercial vehicle customers and their businesses since it was first launched back in 1965. And that was the year man first walked in space. And now, 57 years later, and E-Transit is hitting similar groundbreaking milestones, thanks to the latest in vehicle connectivity, EV technology, fast flexible charging options, and a raft of exciting innovation from the designers and engineers at Ford. Transit is a vehicle that has touched most of our lives, from house moves to moving people, to being a mobile office or workstation, to being the facilitator of the fast and efficient deliveries that we all now rely on. Put simply, Transit is the vehicle to get the job done.
Really great to see those iconic images there of the Transit throughout the ages, and it won't be long before we have the E-Transit images to be joining that archive. But back here in the dealership, and I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Simon Richardson, who is the local business development manager here at the Newport Ford dealership. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Great to be here.
So these have just rolled off the production line. It's a historic moment for the Transit. How do you and your team feel about being able to bring these vehicles to your commercial vehicle customers?
Really excited, to be honest. We've been on our training course up in Daventry, and having been in the motor trade a long time, normally it's sort of, okay, it's another product, but yeah, massively excited about it. Complete game changer, and it's going to completely change the market as well.
Absolutely.
Within the commercial vehicle sector, sorry.
Definitely. And important question, have you taken it out for a test drive yet? How is the drive?
Better than any Transit I've ever driven, to be honest. Smooth, quiet, the acceleration's there, the power's there when you need it. A lot more features on the standard vehicle. Yeah, it's just a brilliant place to sit. Yeah, I just can't fault it at all, to be honest.
That's always a good thing to hear. And for those people who are new to Newport Ford, can you tell us a little bit about the kind of history and background of the commercial vehicle side of your business?
Yeah, of course. So, Mon Motors family-run business. I work on the Ford commercial side, small team of 4. We deal large fleets right down to your retail customer, so we've got all the bases covered. We work really well together, and we're here for all your Ford commercial needs, basically.
That's what we like to hear. Simon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And don't forget, we are of course live here tonight on the stream, so if you have any questions or comments throughout the presentation, then please feel free to add them to the box below, and the team here, Simon's team, will do their best to get back to you either tonight or in the coming days. And you know how this works. If you have friends, colleagues that you think would be interested in learning about the E-Transit, then please hit that all-important share button as well. Okay, but without further ado, let's move on with tonight's presentation. And we're going to start by taking a look at some of the features of the all-new E-Transit. Great to see those images there of the new e-Transits out on the road doing what they do best in the sunshine. But back here, let's show you around the vehicle now, shall we? We're going to start at the front, and we've got this great unique front grille across here and these great blue flashes signifying it is the electric vehicle. Down at the front here, well, this is where you will find the charge socket. If we just pop that open there, you'll see it lives handily in here. We can pop that out, nice and convenient for when you want to charge. We're going to come to charging in a little bit more detail shortly, but the headline news is a best-in-class range of up to 196 miles, and that's actually 3 times the daily average of commercial vehicle customers throughout Europe, so plenty of mileage there. In terms of charging, well, in the depot, in the workplace, you can get depot charging in around 8 hours from 0 to completely full, or if you're out and about on the road, then you can use the high-powered DC fast chargers. Those will give you a great top-up of up to 80% in as little as 34 minutes. As we look now down the side profile of the vehicle, well, it all looks very familiar, doesn't it? Not much has changed and all the dimensions remain the same. It's still a Transit, and this vehicle is available in up to 25 variants across the wheelbase and height and across the van, double cab in van and chassis cab. When it comes to the battery positioning, well, that is positioned underneath the load floor. So the load cube and the payload remains unchanged, so you don't lose any space at all there. To show you, in fact, how little has changed, we decided to put one side by side with its much loved diesel counterpart and asked Nick Day to show us around.
As we've already been hearing, the all-new e-Transit is still very much the Transit we all know and love. And it's no surprise there's many similarities both internally and externally. So we thought it'd be a really good idea to just show you how familiar you're going to be with this e-Transit by comparing it side to side with one of its diesel counterparts, in particular the rear doors and the load area. Now here at the rear, you'll be hard pressed to play a game, spot the difference. The only external clue that this is an e-Transit is the unique badging. Let's open the doors and have a look and see what's going on inside. Internally, the load carrying capabilities that make the Transit such a workhorse remain largely unchanged. We have a load area of just over 15 metres cubed and a payload of 1,758 kilos for the van and more for the chassis cab. With tie-down points and our rack mounting capabilities that we're used to. If you already work with our qualified vehicle modifiers for your company's conversions, I'm almost certain there'll be no problem at all. Now the clever part of the design is even with the battery sitting in the chassis here below the load floor, we could see a difference in load height between 3 and 5 centimetres. But parked next to the all-wheel drive diesel version, you can see they're almost identical. Hopefully you've seen now that the all-new e-Transit is still very much a Transit, now though with the addition of the exciting electric drivetrain. Let's head back to the dealership and learn about options for charging.
Thanks very much to Nick Day for that video there, and really great to see the vehicles side by side and see how little has changed and therefore how seamless that transition can be. Because the e-Transit really is the Transit workhorse that we all know and love, but now just with the much cleaner and more efficient option of the battery and motor. So let's take a look now at the EV tech at the heart of the e-Transit, starting with the battery. The e-Transit's 400-volt battery is positioned in a sealed structural box under the floor and has a usable capacity of 68 kilowatt hours, which equates in layman's terms to a best-in-class range of up to 196 miles. And as you can see here, the motor is positioned in the rear subframe, and the ride is now improved with the help of independent coil spring rear suspension. And as we've heard from Nick already, with the battery sitting neatly underneath the floor, there's no loss of payload. The e-Transit has been designed to be both flexible and fast when it comes to charging, and you're able to plan and control all the charging options via the Ford Pass Pro app or Ford eTelematics fleet solution. Charging back at the depot with a commercial power supply should take around 8 hours, and we have a number of charging solutions available for that. At home with a Ford wall box is also convenient and takes around 11 hours for a full charge. And you can also use a standard 3-pin plug socket and a mobile charge cable, but off this lower rated power supply, that will take longer. For top-ups on longer journeys when you're out and about on the road, you can put up to 80% capacity back into the battery in as little as 34 minutes. This is when using DC fast chargers that are part of the 16,000 outlet Blue Oval charging network. And access to that network is free for 12 months with every e-Transit as part of Ford e-Telematics. So there we go, as you can see, charging really is both fast and flexible. But what's it like in the real world when you're out and about on the road? Well, to find out, we sent Kev Harris to run a couple of errands because we wanted to see if in the time it takes him to grab a coffee, take a quick break and check some emails, whether he could put enough charge back into the e-Transit to keep its wheels rolling.
So, as we've been hearing with the e-Transit and charging, you have a few options. But one thing that I've been learning over the last few years, since I've been learning about electric vehicles like the e-Transit, is that the place that you will most frequently recharge will be back at the depot in the evening or at home overnight. This means that you wake up each and every morning with a full charge ready to go again. And this is certainly the most cost-effective and easiest way to do so, putting the service station on your own doorstep. But what about if you're out and about away from home or perhaps on a longer journey? Where will you charge and how long will it take? Fast charging at an electric forecourt like this new GridServe facility here in Braintree, Essex is definitely the way to go when you want a quick turnaround, because they have reliable, super fast charging on site for up to 36 vehicles. Right, so the time is just coming up to 12:30. Let's see how many miles I can add to my range in the time it takes me to nip inside, grab a coffee, go to the loo and check a few work emails. Right, so there we go. I've been plugged in for 20 minutes and I've added 71 miles to my range, which is great because that's more than I need for the rest of the day to get all of my jobs done and to head back to the depot. And while this method of fast DC charging is not something that you want to rely on all the time, it certainly is a fast and convenient way to add some miles to your range. So let's head back to the dealership now then and learn about the rest of Ford Pro.
Thanks very much to Kev for that video there, and it's great to see how easily and seamlessly it will fit into our day-to-day habits, the sort of things we all do every day anyway. Okay, back in the dealership and I'm in the cab now, and immediately you get a sense of space and openness, and this is in no small part because of the removal of the gear stick and the handbrake. Both of these have been replaced by a rotary gear dial and an electronic parking brake which sits down by my right knee here. Pre-heated seats and heated windscreen come as standard, and these can both be preconditioned while the vehicle is on charge. This can be done either by scheduling it using the Ford Pass Pro app or directly via the 12-inch Sync 4 display. Let me tell you a little bit more about the Sync 4 now, and this really is the control center of the e-Transit, and it's by far the best sync system that Ford have developed to date. With a built-in modem, the e-Transit really is a fully connected commercial vehicle that's going to fit seamlessly within the Ford Pro ecosystem, which is the innovation from Ford, which puts all your commercial vehicle needs in one place. But if this is the first time you're hearing about Ford Pro, well, worry not, because we sent Tori Campbell to the Commercial Vehicle Show to learn more about Ford Pro and the technology at the heart of this industry-leading system.
I'm at the CV show here in Birmingham, where we're launching the Ford Pro brand. The story is all about the connectivity and technology on board, which is really at the heart of the e-Transit. And I think I've just spotted the ideal man to tell us some more.
No problem. Take care. See ya.
Andy, can I borrow you just for a moment?
Of course you can.
Thank you. You're the Fleet Ownership Experience Manager here at Ford. So what I wanted to know is, what do you and your team do with the data from connected vehicles?
At the heart of Ford Pro is e-Transit, and indeed the whole of the commercial vehicle family. They all have integrated modems, and they're able to push data from the vehicle up into the cloud. And that has one single ambition, is to maximise the amount of uptime of our customers and therefore their own productivity. The Ford Live Connected Uptime System uses the real-time data from the cloud in order to liaise between customer, dealer and Ford Motor Company. And therefore the idea is, by taking the VOR, the vehicle off-road information, we are able to understand what parts might be required, what diagnostic routines might be required, and hopefully get the right technician in place to absolutely minimise your downtime and get you back on the road.
So as Andy just said, connected vehicles allow us to do so much more in terms of maximising productivity. However, being here at the show, I've realised there is a lot more to Ford Pro. So I'm here with Mandy Dean, Ford of Britain's Commercial Vehicles Director. So Mandy, why Ford Pro and why now?
Well, around the world, tens of millions of Ford trucks and vans are at work every day, helping people to get their jobs done. And whilst their work may not make the headlines, they make our world run, and they are what Ford is all about. And those customers are going through huge and unprecedented change right now. Businesses and organisations of all sizes see the promise of electric and digital vehicles, but they know it's going to be a complicated shift and they're worried about it. They want to work with a single trusted partner, not cobble together a bunch of different services to help them get this transition right. And that's exactly why we've created Ford Pro.
So here at the show and in your advertising, I've seen that Ford Pro is all about productivity. But what does that actually mean for your customers?
Well, our mission is to provide a seamless end-to-end solution for best-in-class vehicles, charging, software, service and financing, all from a single trusted partner. And we want to help those customers make their transition to an electrified future really simple and completely worry-free. But Ford Pro really comes into its own when it translates the data that Andy was talking about into the things that really matter for our customers, like improved uptime, reduced running costs, smarter charging and simpler administration. It basically brings together the 5 key pillars of commercial productivity solutions, so the vehicles, services, software, charging solutions and financing, all that just simply work better together.
Thank you very much to Tori and the Ford Pro team there, and it's really exciting to see just how much the technology and the data from Ford Pro really will revolutionise the efficiency of both your fleet and your business. So there we have it, the all-new e-Transit and Ford Pro. Hopefully we've answered most of your questions tonight, but if there is anything you'd still like to know, then please feel free to add your comments to the box below, and the team here at Newport Ford will do their best to get back to you in the coming days. Or, of course, pick up the phone, give them a call. I know they would love to chat to you and they'd love to get you down here for a test drive at the dealership. So there we have it. Thank you very much for watching and learning all about the e-Transit. Still very much a transit, but now an all-electric commercial vehicle workhorse for the 21st century and beyond. Thanks.